Okay, so to get started, just lay out kind of the papers that you've got, have them all around, and start cutting those strips of paper. So first, I typically cut the 6-inch pieces and use this template. You're going to be cutting 6 of the 6-inch, 4 of the 5-inch, and 1 of the small 3-inch piece. And this is definitely the most time-consuming part. Once you have all the papers cut, the bow does come together pretty quickly. Next, you're going to be gluing the loops. So again, I'm using PVA glue here, and you first create a basic loop with the smallest strip of the paper. So this can be, try not to make it too tight, otherwise it'll be really tucked down inside of the bow, you'll see later. But just kind of make a loose loop with it, add a bit of glue to connect it, and then clip with a clothespin and set aside. Now you're going to grab the 6 longest strips that you cut, and you'll be creating the loops for each of these pieces. You're going to wrap each into a ribbon shape to create sort of this longish loop. I don't really know what to call this shape, but again, make sure that the decorative side of the paper, or whatever you want, is facing outward, and add that little bead of glue. You might have to press it a little bit to make sure the glue kind of gets into all the bottom edges, and then clip it with a clothespin and set aside. And you'll do this for all 6 strips. And now you're going to repeat this loop creation process for the remaining 4 strips of paper. So these are the smaller 5-inch strips of paper. You're going to create that same sort of long loop. So now you're going to create loop pairs. So you're going to gather the loops that you made from the 6-inch strips of paper and group them into pairs. So you'll have 3 pairs total. You can play around with which ones you think look better together. Again, this is just going to make the outer edges of the bow. So you're going to glue each pair at the center, add a clip or a clothespin, and set aside. These make kind of a infinity sort of looking shape. And now you're going to create the same type of loop pairs, but using the smaller last 4 loops that you have sitting around. So you're going to create 2 more pairs based on the last 4 loops you created. You're going to take the larger loops and kind of stack them and rotate them into a tight sort of star shape, and this creates the bottom layer of the bow. And so put a bead of glue between each layer, and as usual, get your clothespin, clip it, and set aside. Now stack and attach the 2 smaller loop pairs, like so, a little star. And finally, you can put all of the sections together. So you'll add a bead of glue inside the bottom large loop group, and then place the smaller section inside. Be sure to rotate while the glue is wet to shape the bow just how you want it. And you'll put a final bead of glue with that final loop in the middle. And there you go.